have been having so many technical issues. Okay, it is unbelievable. All right. Okay, but back to the question. Okay, to usually means a sense of direction. Okay, sense of direction, whether it is a certain time or a deadline. Okay, scheduled to, you're moving something forward in a certain direction, may it be backwards or forward. Okay, by usually means a certain deadline, scheduled by. Okay, and when you're talking about on, you're usually talking about a specific date or time, a position where it has to be on. Okay, when you say past, okay, past, it usually means that something has already happened. Hi, Maya. All right, so over here, since we have doctors remind our patient that schedule is scheduled for Monday, we're talking about a specific day of the week, so we will be using on, like Hong Kang said. Good job, Hong Kong. All right, question 12. Can anyone guess what the answer might be? Okay, Mr. Lim told the class that the spelling test would take place blank Thursday. Okay, blank Thursday. By Thursday, that's what Hong Kong said. I will circle it. Okay, so let's look for an explanation. Wait, IDK. That is very truly new during an exam. I remember, okay, I'm terrible at science. When I do science papers, I always really feel like leaving a question mark behind all of my answers because I never know if it's truly right. Okay, Hong Kong says on or by. I'm gonna circle it. Both, all right? Mr. Ling told the class that the spelling test would take place blank Thursday. Okay, now let's look at it. Now, when you say on over here, I'm gonna go from the back. On usually, like I mentioned on the previous question, it usually means a date or time. So maybe you say let's say on a Tuesday afternoon, on a Friday afternoon, or maybe you say, okay, when you say at it usually means specific clock times. Okay, like at 8 a.m. I will be doing this at 8 a.m. Hi, Kaden. Kaden says would, would, but there is no would option here. I circle on, okay. Hong Kong also said on, okay, so I'll be circling that, okay, but there's no option would, okay. At means like clock times. I'll write clock times. Okay, again, I apologize for my handwriting. I will, if anyone knows any way to improve handwriting, like I will do it. I will do it because I really need to improve my handwriting. Okay. My teacher tried when I was in primary school, but I will try again myself. Okay. We have in. Okay, in usually used for like you meet when you're talking about longer periods of time, like months, periods. So months or years. Okay. So she finally grew in 2025. He finally got his job in March. So it's longer periods of time. Okay. Now, when you're using the word by, you usually means that before a certain period of time or a certain deadline. Deadline. Okay. Okay, over here. Oh goodness. When they're saying Thursday, Thursday usually we would choose on Thursday. Okay. Thursday is a day. So we would choose on. Okay. So for, I think it was Hong Kong. Hong Kong is correct. Good job, Hong Kong. Oh, and Kaden. Oh, nearly forgot. Okay. Now, please be aware. Okay. Okay. Now we have question 13. The increase in the number of obesity cases among children blank a cause for concern last year. Okay. Now these are all options. Okay. It is is, are, was, were. Okay. These are things, these are concepts that are very they are repeated quite a lot throughout PSLE. They're repeated quite a lot through upper primary. Okay, so it's very important to be able to master them. Okay, because they do repeat themselves and there are always one or two in the exam. So it's very important that you are able to get it. a solid foundation. All right. Now, when you use the word is, okay, is you're using a present tense. Okay, I'll zoom in first, okay, just so my handwriting is better, but I'll zoom out, okay? So for those who are here, don't worry. Hi, Lock Yu Kong was, okay, Hong Kong says tree, so I'm gonna circle it. Okay, now are is usually a plural verb, plural, okay, and it's plural and it is present tense. Okay, forgot to write that this is singular. Okay, and we have was is singular, and past tense. Okay, over here we have were, which is plural, and past tense. Is the subject the increase? That is correct. Good job, Hong Kong. Yes, it is the subject. Okay, the subject is the increase. Okay, so when you're saying the increase, you're talking about something that is singular because you're talking about you're talking about something specific. Okay, and when you're saying last year, we see over here that this is a past action. So we are looking for something in the answer that is past tense. Okay, so in this case over here, we will be looking at something that such as something was a cause for concern, is a cause for concern, are a cause for concern, was or were a cause for concern. Okay, now let's match everything, singular and past tense. Okay, so the answer will be number 3 because it fits this two. Okay, number 3. I'm back. Hi, Hayon. Okay, so Hong Kong, you're correct. Good job. Great job. Super proud of you. All right. Now, 14. Join me at 14. Okay. The rise in dengue cases in Singapore blank a serious issue 2 years ago. Okay. Let's take a look. Over here, you have were, is, was, are. Okay. Now, over here, what are the things that I should highlight? Please tell me the things that I should highlight in this question. Everyone, please tell me. Okay, Ion says tree. I'm gonna circle tree. Okay, what other things that I should be noting in the question? Okay, it is so important to have specific things in the question that you want to note down because these are the things that you're gonna look at when it comes to the rise and 2 years ago. Okay, so the rise and 2 years ago. Okay, now what does the rise say? What is the rise? What does it say about the question? And what does 2 years ago say about the question? What do these words, what do these phrases say about the question? Right? Is singular correct? Great job. Okay, the rise, you're talking about a specific thing, it is singular. Okay, and this is also the subject. Okay, past tense, great job, great job. 2 years ago. Okay, so you have these two. Okay, and then you have all these options. Okay, like I'm gonna go through this quick because we already have gone through it. Okay, so were is plural and past tense. I'm gonna put pt. Oh, never mind, I can't do that because present tense is also pt. Oh goodness. Okay, past tense is singular, present was is plural singular, and it is past tense. And over here, are is plural and it is present. So in this case over here, okay, a serious issue 2 years ago. So in this case, we will be looking at something that is Singapore was a single issue 2 years ago. that will be the correct answer, okay? Because we're looking at something that's past tense and something that is singular, okay? So this is singular and has past tense, okay? So it will be 3 again. Let's see. Ayon says 3, great job, okay? Great job, everyone did great. Okay, let's move on to question 15. We're going so much faster, that's so great. Okay, now this one's a bit harder, okay? Because we have some additional options that was not in the previous one, okay? Do look for me, blank, you need any help, Miss Tan told her students. Why you talk so fast? Very interesting question. I don't know. 4. Okay, I'll speak a bit slower. New Year's potato. I love that name. But why potato, not cabbage? Like cabbage or carrot, or like beetroot. All right. Do you look for me? Shall you need? I like potatoes. Really? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't mind potatoes actually. There's no particular vegetable that I hate. Okay, Ayon say Ayon says tree. All right. Do you look for? No, not tree too. Oh, okay. Okay. Now let's look. What are the things that I should be highlighting over here? Does anyone know? Okay. Hong Kong. Is there anything that I should? Okay, Hong Kong has been one of my star students today. Okay, anything I should be highlighting? IDK, IDK. Okay, now, okay, let's take a look at the options. Okay, now when it comes to the word should, let's go from the back again. Should usually means that something is a good idea, or that maybe you are advised to do it. You should do this. Okay, so that is what the word is. Okay, now when it comes to the word would, okay, we have the word would. Okay, now when you're saying would you need any help? Would, that means how would I explain this? Okay, so would doesn't really work here. Okay, we know off the bat. Do look for me, would you need any help? Okay, firstly, it does sound awkward. Okay, and it doesn't work for do look for me, would you need any help? Does not work. Okay, shall. Okay, now the thing about shall is that it's not commonly used in context. Okay, so it's very important that students understand the context. Okay, usually don't really use the word shall. Okay, open inverted comma. Yes, especially the good job, Ayon. Especially inverted open inverted comma, you kind of know that it is speech language. So you're looking more at daily language. Okay, so you will not say shall. Okay, I've not used the word shall in so long. Okay, will. Okay, do look for me, will you need any help? Okay, when you're saying will is quite a strong word. Okay, will is quite a strong word. It's very commanding, and you are saying that Miss Tan is speaking to her students. Okay, you're talking about help, so you're gonna imagine that someone is offering something. Okay, and none of this is really talking about offering anything. Okay, and certain words are too strong. Okay, this is has nothing to do with offering. Okay, so number 4 will be the answer. Okay, good job to those who guessed number 4. Who chose number 4? Oh, Hong Kong chose number 4. Great job. All right. Okay, now question 16. Feel free to approach me. Okay, Feel free to approach me blank you need anything. Okay, so it's a similar question. Similar question. So when you say need anything, again, you are offering something. You're offering something. Okay, and feel free. It is something that you're not it's more of a relaxed, more of a you're not coming off too strong. So it's very, very important to read the tone of the wording as well. Okay, these are all okay. Let's see. Yuri's potatoes, 1. Hong Kong, 1. Ion, 1. Okay, let's all just circle 1. Optional. Okay, what do you mean optional? Okay, feel free to approach me. Yes, yes. So it's like optional. Yes, yes. So there is no pressure, no pressure. It is very, it's chill, if that's the way you want to put it. Okay, now, okay, let's look at the first one. Should. Should, it is a polite way to say if. Oh, I spelled it wrongly. If, and it is also a way of saying that something is a good idea, or that, oh my goodness, what happened to this iPad? Ah, a good idea or advice to do it. Okay, now say would. Would is not something that you would use to start something very polite. You can say, would you help me? But you not say, would you need anything? Okay, so it'll be more of, okay, okay. And will is similar to would. That's why we're saying will is more of. It doesn't really fit the feel free to. Okay, it's more pressured. Okay, so it is something to note down. Okay, now shall, we have the word shall. Like I said before, shall is not very common in this. It is I wouldn't say it's formal, overly formal, but it is very out of context, very unconventional way of saying it. So we would definitely go with should, again, because like everyone said, so all of you guys are correct, because over here we are offering something. We're offering something, and it's something that is optional. We're not coming off very strong. Okay, so it's a very polite way. Okay, so we have to choose one. Okay, now we have question 7. If Richard blanked to his mother, he would not have lost his wallet. Okay. Okay, take a look. Okay, this is a hint for everyone. This is a hint for everyone. Okay. Hong Kong says 4. Yuri's potato says 4. Okay, okay. Good, good. Okay, now let's look through the options first. Okay, I'm gonna cut through this. Okay. Now listens is present tense. Okay, over here it's present tense. Okay. Listened is past. And was listening is continuous. And had listened is, let's see, had listened is, what is that on my phone? Why is it blinking? That's scary. Okay. Had, so you're kind of imagining imaginary past. Okay. So if something had happened, okay, so it might not have happened. Okay. So over here we're giving a situation he would not. So would not suggest that it did happen, and this is an imaginary. Okay, so over here we're talking about something that is more alludes to the idea of imaginary. Okay, so we will be choosing number 4, as everyone said. Okay, because if Richard did, and it's an imaginary situation, he would not have another imaginary situation. Okay, but in this case, Richard did not listen to his mother, and he did lose his wallet. Okay, so it's the other situation. So over here the answer is 4. Good job to everyone who got this right. Okay, so I'm giving everyone time to screenshot if that's what everyone wants. Okay, let's do 2 by 2, 3 by 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh goodness me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's move on. 3 more questions, guys, and then we'll move on to another section. All right, let's take a look. If Sarah had, did, does, was doing, oh, if Sarah had done, okay, she would not have been scolded. Okay, everyone says 1. Okay, 1 circle 1. Okay, okay, again, let's look at this. Okay. Okay, now let's look had done. What is had done? Had done is more of an if had situation. It's more of an if situation plus past participle. Okay, when it comes to did, you're more talking about simple past. Okay, and over here, because we have if, it's a conditional. Okay, and over here, does is present tense. Was doing is continuous. Okay, so you guys can take a look. Okay, so over here, do note that this is the most important thing. If she had done it earlier, she would not. Okay, so it is a situation that happened, that did not happen, but she is essentially thinking about another option. If she had done something different, what would have actually happened? Okay, now that, can anyone guess the answer? Oh, we have 2 people. Forgot. 2 people guessing the answer. Okay, so had done. Okay, now let's look. Okay, if Sarah was doing her homework, let's start from the back. Okay, now it is wrong for this sentence, because if Sarah was doing her homework, she would not have been scolded. It's continuous, but in this case, it is conditional. We're looking for something that really suggests that something is an if situation, because it's she would not have been scolded. Okay, so let's circle this. It's wrong. Okay, if Sarah does her homework, this is present tense, but we're talking about something in the past. Okay, because we have the word earlier, so it suggests that it's in the past. Okay, so this is not correct. And then we have did her homework. It is simple past. Okay, it does not match the conditional structure. Okay, she would not have been scolded. And if her had done. Okay, so the answer is 1. Good job, everyone. All right. Now 19. She won the race. Blank she. Asked Mina. Okay, we went through this just now. Does anyone know what the answer might be? Who says 4? Okay. Anyone has any answers? Oh, Hong Kong says 4. Okay. Is Ayon still here? Great job. Great job. That is correct. That is correct. Okay. Now, when we looking at something like this, okay, usually I'll go through this again. Okay. We're saying she is the culprit. Usually at isn't she? Okay, she did break something, didn't she? And the one exception is I am. Okay, I am will not be am and I. Okay, it's not amend. Okay, it is not that. It is aren't I. Okay. Now for hadn't, okay. Now when it comes to hadn't, it is also the NT. Okay. Now when it comes, you have to have attach it. It is essentially these sections. Oh, these sections are the negative form. Okay. So it is, okay. Had is used, not has. So it is not this. Had is a negative form, and so it should be a negative form. It is not the same. You are repeating had. Don't do that. Okay. And then hasn't, okay, it is wrong verb and wrong form. Okay, because it's she had, not she has. Okay. So we have number 4. Okay. So yeah. Yuri and Hong Kong is correct. Good job. All right. Question 20. Last question before we move on. All right. They finished their project blank day. Okay, Yuri says tree. Any other answers? And what is the thing that I should be circling here? What is the thing that I should be circling over here? Why option 4 has a day? Ooh. Okay. Hi, Nathan. Date. Okay, but I should circle date. Okay. Why option 4 has a date? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh, right. This is extra. Oh, you mean this. Okay, let's cancel it. It's wrong. Error. Day. Doesn't make sense, huh? Hi, Nathan. I have not seen you in the live before. Are you in primary school, secondary school, or are you working and just here to guess? I'm taking PSLE this year. I wish you all the best. Because when people always tell me that this is oh, huh. That is true. Ignore 4. Ignore 4. Ignore 4. Okay, ignore 4. All right. PSLE this year. Oh, when people say they have PSLE this year, I feel like that drop of sweat coming down my head for them because I remember the stress that I had faced when I was in PSLE. I completely understand. I completely remember. Okay. You are not alone. Okay. You're not alone. Remember to take enough breaks. Please do. Okay. You really don't want to burn out because I remember when I was in PSLE, I would tell the story when I'm telling students that you guys have to take enough breaks. I remember I had the worst burnout right after PSLE. Thank God it wasn't during PSLE, but right after, and it ate into my secondary school life. Okay, so I definitely could have had a better starting off point in secondary school, but I was just so burnt out that I was crashing out and I couldn't properly enjoy my entry into secondary school life, and it did affect my grades when I first started. Can you give me a tip for a compo? Oh, definitely. Okay. Could you maybe help me to let me think of some recommended tips. Okay, but for that I need to ask you some questions. Do What are the most common like comments that you get from teachers? Like maybe they're saying you're not doing well in something. Okay, what do they often tell you? What do they often tell you? And I'll give you tips according to that. Okay, because I teach compo the most out of all the different sections. Too realistic. Oh my god. Um oh my god, that is such a unique comment that oh my god. Okay, wait. Can you give me the rough idea of a story? Oh, okay. I faced this problem when I was in PSLE as well. Okay, I also faced it when I was in high school as well. Okay, but now for that, I understand that because for me, I enjoy writing by myself. And when it comes to writing in storybooks, you often see a lot of dialogue. So I often thought, you know what, I can add that into my composition. But then the teachers say that that is not what you're supposed to do. Okay, now my tip for you: 2 dialogues, 2 to 3 dialogues. Okay, 2 to 3 dialogues within a composition, and your dialogues should not be the one moving your story forward. Okay, you can use it to um give out, to convey small pieces of information like that's the criminal, catch him, like to make a transition between the story. But your dialogue should not be more than 2 sentences long. These are tips that helped me a lot from this issue. Okay, your dialogue is not supposed to be the one that moves your story forward. It is not, because when you're using your dialogue to move your story forward, you are missing out on so many opportunities to describe. You're losing opportunities to move your story forward with effective writing. Okay, dialogue can add an auditory component, so you are imagining that there is sound, there is something going on in the story, but it's not meant to add the progress to your story. My chair don't say anything. She just marks it. Gives the score though. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Okay, I see. I see. But I think when it comes to this, maybe you can go up to her and say that, you know what, I would like a few comments. Unless you're getting full marks, of course, then you can ask her if there's anything specific that, you feel like she would want you to brush up on. Okay, but either ways, it's always good to get some comments from the teachers so that you know what you can work on. Okay, definitely. Okay. But Nathan, your what you're going through is my school part of it. Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. But yeah, Nathan, don't worry about it. It's I would say that that is considered a minor mistake if that is what your teacher means by too realistic in terms of writing. Okay. Definitely try to shorten down your dialogues and minimize the use of it. Okay. That's very nice. Oh, that's very nice. Yes, it is very nice. Okay. But yeah, you guys feel free to tell me if your teachers have ever told you guys any comments, and then you guys can let me know, and then we can come up with something together, okay, to improve on the writing. Okay, bye bye. Okay. Okay, let me know if you need any further help. Wish me luck. All the best, Hong Kong. All right. Come on, let's finish question 20. All right. Okay. Like you guys said, they did is they had. Okay. Okay. Now again, it's the same thing of she is the isn't she did the didn't she, and I am the aren't I. Okay, this one's the exception. Please note that down. Okay, there were people who made the mistake just now. Please don't make that mistake. All right. Okay, had is a positive tag. That is the main issue of this. It's a positive tag, and after a positive tag, because we over here they did and they had, it's a positive tag. We are looking for a negative tag over here. So had is definitely not the answer. So we are going between hasn't and hadn't. Okay. Now when we're talking about has, okay, it does not match had. Okay, it is has. Okay. So over here it is the wrong verb. Okay. Over here. Oh, I think this. Oh, I think. Okay. Who was the one that told me to cancel? I think this is a trick question. Okay, wait. This is a trick question. Okay, so I think this one is for students who didn't see that they already had a day over here. So number 4 is definitely not the answer because it doesn't fit the format. Okay, they added another day. Oh, I see. I think that's why. Okay. Now we are left with number 3, hadn't they? Okay, it fits it because it is the negative tag of had. Okay, so this will be the answer. This is 3. Okay, now we will be moving on to vocab. Okay, but before I go to vocab, I do want to highlight that we actually do have this ebook for those students who want that extra practice. Okay, the questions are similar. It's that kind of sectioning that we're talking about. Okay, so again, for students who are looking for that last minute consolidation or that last minute essay pieces, the last minute like comprehensive guide, essentially this would be a very good option. It has MCQ practices and it is all about popular tests at PSLE questions. So it's based on questions that students are more likely to get wrong or questions that are more likely to come up. I'm bad at vocab. Okay, when it comes to vocab, it is very important that you're getting it correct. Okay, because when it comes to vocab, it is something that is required. There is that component in every single section of PSLE. Whether you're talking about paper 2, whether you're talking about your composition or your oral exam. Okay, it is something that we speak about in all of our lives and all of our crash courses and everything. So it's it's just something that it's okay. We take our time and we'll work on it together. We'll work on it together. All right. Okay. The cashier was suspicious of the blank of the $100 note, which the stranger was trying to use for his groceries. Okay. Hi, Millie. Hi, Millie. Hi. How are you? Are you in PSLE this year by any chance? Are you in PSLE this year by any chance? All right, let's look at the question. Okay. Okay, question one. Okay, Yuri, maybe you can join me and do this. Oh, you guys both gave answers already. Hong Kong and Yuri both said three. I'm gonna circle it. Okay. Okay, great, great, great. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, the reality of the $100 note. Okay, now one of the things, a tip for you, Yuri, that I always tell students to do when they are doing vocab is to, when you're doing practice, okay, at least you can take the time to look through every single word. Okay, don't spend too much time. You don't have to annotate, but at least look through the wording and make sure you know their meaning, because what might not be the answer this time might be the answer the next time. Okay, over here we have reality. Okay, now when you're saying the reality, it means whether something is real in general. It's not something that is really suitable for objects. Okay, so it means what is real, and it can be events, but it won't be objects. Okay, so this is not the answer. Reality is not the answer. I cancel the ones that I think is not the answer. Yes, that is a great way to do it, but I think when it comes to you're doing practice and you have a bit more time, um I would say it is a good idea to start, you can start noticing patterns in word form, because sometimes, I would say one of the worst things that examiners like to do is sometimes when they are writing the questions, they like to write words that are very, very similar. Okay, and it's not possible for you to know every single word that's going to come out, so it's also very important that you are able to identify word forms with like maybe the suffix or the prefix. Okay, and actually identify the meaning that way. Okay, that is one of the best ways to do it. Okay, the validity over here, this one is, essentially it means to whether something is valid, something is logical. Okay, so it's more up towards the argument side, logic or valid. Okay, so it's not really about whether, in this case we're talking about $100 note. Okay, so this is the object and that we're talking about. Okay, so whether it's real, from all these we can see we're talking about something that is real or fake. Okay, this is more of the argument side, so it's nothing really to do with that, so we're going to cancel that. Okay, then with number three usually means whether something is real, genuine. It can mean branded goods. It can mean, yeah, it could mean branded goods, or it could mean how authentic something is. Okay, so essentially, and then we have the last one. Okay, so far number three looks like it's a good answer, but let's see whether number four is even better. Okay, number four is compatibility. It refers to how well things work together. Okay, so let's see. So it's not really so much about the hundred. When it comes to $100 bills, they don't have to be compatible to each other, so it's very unlikely it's the answer. So the answer is number three. Number three, yes, it is number three. Okay, so Yuri and Hong Kong is correct. Good job, everyone. Okay, number two. Let's take a look. The museum expert questioned the blank of the old painting before agreeing to displaying it. Okay. Does anyone know what the answer might be? Hong Kong says two. Okay, let's see. Wait. Says wait. Yuri, you have to choose one. You have to choose one. To choose one. I think it's one. Okay, you think it's one. Okay. Oh, Hong Kong now changed this answer. Okay, let's erase number two. Okay. Like I said, when it comes to vocab, one of the most mean things that an examiner can do is either make the word very similar, make the meaning very similar. Both are super annoying. Okay, now let's start from the back. Clarity. Okay, and when you're saying clarity, it means to how clear something is. Okay, and it's not really something to question over here, so you don't question how clear a painting is, you simply look and you see how clear it is, so that is not the answer. Okay, question the design. Okay, design refers to how something looks. Okay, from all the questions of from most of the answers here, we can kind of guess that he's talking about how original, how real something is. Okay, so in this case, design is not really what it looks, it's what it is. It's talking more about looks. And over here, this is more about real versus fake. Okay, over here, it means whether something is the first version. Oh, no. Version or copy. Okay, so it is number one. Okay, and how do we know this over here? When you're saying the museum expo, you have to use a little bit of common sense. Okay, when you're saying, you're usually talking about museum, they want original works. Okay, so we really understand that it is around the idea of being original. Okay, so number one is the answer. Good job. Teacher Yahweh went through question 3 yesterday. Teacher Yahweh is right here. He is the moderator. You guys can say hi. Teacher Yahweh is actually right here. Now everyone is saying hi to you. All right. Okay. Okay, so since you guys already know question 3, I'm gonna skip question 3. Okay, question 4. After checking her script, Clara had blanket before handing it in again. Okay, now we have these options: compose, retype, compare, and correct. Okay, so what might the answer be? Okay, anyone guess? And what are the things I should highlight from the question? Okay, there are so many ways that a question can give you more context, can give you a bit more of an idea. 3? Okay. Okay. Clara had 2. Okay, we have 3. Okay, Hong Kong, let's wait for Hong Kong. Okay. Okay, let's start from the back. Okay, when you say correct, you are usually talking about making changes. IDK this one, it's okay. Making changes. Okay, so you're making certain changes to make it better. Okay, you're using compare, you're talking about checking differences. Okay, it doesn't really make sense, okay, because she already checked her script, and then why would she compare it again? It's almost doing the same thing twice, so I'm going to cancel this one. Okay, and then you have retype. Okay, retype is just typing again, not changing. Okay, so it doesn't really make sense. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this one too. She had time to compose. Compose means to write. Okay, not to fix, so it doesn't make sense either. So we are left with number 4. Okay, because after checking a script, Clara had time to correct it, so to make something correct, to change the wrong. So the answer is 4. Yes, the answer is 4. Okay, because when it comes to number 3, Clara had time to compare it before handing it in again. Okay, you're usually talking about checking differences. Okay, so when you're checking differences, it does not necessarily mean that you're fixing. Okay, it's not necessarily fixing. Okay, yes, so it will be 4. I just realized, guys, we're almost at 6k likes. Thank you everyone so much for the likes. All right, okay, now Gracie Beauty SG, thank you so much for the likes. Okay, 1. Okay, Yuri says 1. Okay, now the choir sang in perfect blank during the performance and earned a standing ovation from the appreciative audience. Okay, okay, so what might there be? Oh, thank you, Gracie. 6k already. No, it's 6.1. Thank you, everyone. 6.1K. Wow, 6.1K. I think that's the most amount of likes we've gotten on our lives. That is. All right. Thank you, everyone. All right. Thank you so much for the likes. Harmony. Okay. Hong Kong also says 1. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, now essentially harmony means when you're singing, there's a certain like when voices sound pleasant together. Okay. Okay, and then narration usually means you're telling a story. Okay, now the thing is when they're telling a story, let's look at the context. Okay, when you're talking about choir, so and we're saying that the choir sang during the permanent and the standing ovation. Okay, so it means they. Okay, standing ovation essentially means that when someone thinks you've done super well and they stand up and clap for you, all right? So it means that they did well, okay? So narration, it is nothing to do with singing, so we are gonna like cancel it out, okay? Consensus, which means agreement in ideas. So it's not so much about sound, so I'm gonna say that that's not the answer, okay? Steadiness, okay? It means not changing. Not changing, okay? Okay, so it doesn't really make sense in perfect steadiness. Okay, so I'm gonna cancel it out. So it leaves number 1. You guys got it correct again. 6.5. No, we're 6.7K. Wow, you guys are really trying to beat the record here. Awesome. You guys really try to beat the record here. 6.8. That's crazy. You guys are really beating records here. I think that's one of the highest we have actually gotten here in the lives. Yeah. That's actually one of the highest we've gotten here in the lives. Let's see how much we can do with it. Try to reach 10K. Oh my gosh, bad. All right. Question 6, okay? Although instruments play in different pitches, they create musical blank. Okay, option 1, rhythm, 2, harmony, 3, arrangement, 4, unison. Okay. So we have all this. Okay. Harmony. I'm gonna circle harmony and I'm gonna circle 4. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna say although. So we're looking at the word although here. Okay, and then we're looking at different pitches. So although it is different, they created musical something. So it means when you say different, you would assume that something is maybe not done well, especially they're in different pitches. You think that they are very all over the place, but they say although. So we're gonna assume that it was done well. Okay, so we're gonna assume that it's something that is very well. Okay, now let's look from here. Rhythm. Okay, rhythm is more about timing. Okay, you guys can say the correct rhythm. Okay, it's not so much about sound blending. Okay, so we're talking about pitches here, so we are assuming that about something that is more perfectly blended together. Okay, harmony, like we mentioned, it means that different sounds slash voices go well together. All right. And arrangement means kind of order. Okay, how well something is ordered together, how something is positioned in a way that it is neat essentially. Okay, it doesn't really necessarily mean sound mixes well. Okay, finally number 4, it usually means same pitch or known or at the same time. Okay, so not different. but blended. Okay, so this is definitely not it because we already mentioned that it's different peaches over here, this two, so it cannot be number 4. Okay, number 4, number 3 doesn't make sense either. Okay, number 1 doesn't make sense either, so we are left with number 2. Who guessed number 2? Good job to those who guessed number 2. Good job, good job. Okay, I see a circle number 4, so someone said number 4. I want to highlight again that number 4 usually means that same pitch, same note. That means everything is happening at the same time. So you always hear that statement where you say, the students yelled in unison, the students yelled at the same time. That's essentially what it means, that the timing is the same, their voices blend together, the voices are at the same time, they're the same pitch, same note. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that though. Okay, so the answer in this case is number 2. Okay, last few questions. Okay, question 7. The director of the company was inconsolable when his multi-million-dollar development plan blanked due to a lack of funding. Okay, what time does the second live start? Immediately? Then might as well just continue on. Okay, okay. Was inconsolable when his, okay, IDK? IDK, okay. So, you guys are saying 2. And Yuri said 4. Do you see 4 for this or 4 for the other one? Sorry, I don't remember. Do you see 4 for this or 4 for the other one? I'm so confused now. Okay. Okay. Let's go through it together. No, other one. Or fell true. Okay. I'm gonna circle this one as well because you said that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Fell off. Okay. Fell in. Fell out. Fell true. Okay. Now let's take a look. Okay. Now when you say fell in, usually means buildings collapsing. Like something caved in, okay? Like floorboards. The floor fell in. Oh, why can't I cancel this one? Oh, okay. Misspelled another word. Okay, and then fell off. You're usually talking about something falling off a certain area, something dropping off. Fell out means an argument. Okay, so I fell out with my best friend. I fell out with my parents. I fell out with my brother. That argument. I fell out with my teacher. Okay, fell out. Or let's say a 2 fell out. Fell true is usually saying when a plan falls true. So a plan didn't work. Plan fails. Okay, now let's look at the question. The director was inconsolable, so it's something negative. So something negative happened. So we're talking about a plan. Okay, so over here, buildings collapsing. We're talking about a plan, not a building, so it's not it. This is the main subject over here. Drop off. Okay, nothing to do with that argument. Nothing to do with that. So we are left with number 4. So those who choose number 4, whoever chose number 4 is correct. Who chose number 4? Oh, Hong Kong chose number 4. Good job. 6.5. No, 8.6. Wow. I feel like at this rate we'll definitely reach 10K. All right. The lay questions. What do you mean, the lay questions? It's the 50-50 is so real though. There are sometimes when you go into exam, especially MCQ, where it feels like 50-50. It reminds me of this one. I don't know if anyone watched Octo. Has anyone watched Octo before? It was such a long time ago. But essentially, there was this one show where this boy bought a dice into his exam, and for the MCQ, just throw the dice. I don't know. Please don't do that in your exam. Please don't. Okay, Yuri says tree fell through. Okay, okay. Let's highlight. Okay. Now, when you're talking about something, you're talking about pulling out. Okay, so someone retracted their situation. Okay, you're talking about a project. So this is the main subject. So whatever happened to the project. Okay, and it's unexpected. Okay, I use eraser. Oh, oh, I see. Please don't do that in your exam, though. I understand that there's like a what? I think there's like a 45% chance if you use like eraser, but please don't do that. Please don't do that. I've definitely considered that, but it's always better to make like informed decisions, you know? Paused. Okay, I'm gonna circle it because Hong Kong said so. Okay. Okay, let's look. Number one is crumbled. Crumbled, which essentially means something that, you know, the cookie crumbled under my touch. The wall crumbled on my touch, under my touch. So something like broke, something broke, and it is usually more literal. So something that actually crumbles. Okay, collapsed. When you're saying collapsed, you're usually saying that something it's more sudden. It's more sudden and something fell through. Oh. Something fell through suddenly. Okay, but we have fell through itself. Fell through, which also means something were to like plans failed, didn't happen. 10K? We are at 10K. We are at 10K. That's crazy. How long did you guys spam likes for us to reach 10K? But again, super happy. 10K. And 10.1 now. That's crazy. I think that's the most amount of likes I've ever seen. Like on a live at least. Here at Writers, I mean. Alright. Paused, okay? Paused refers to something that stopped. Okay. Stopped for a while. Okay. Might resume. Okay. Now over here, let's look at the options. Okay, let's start from crumbled. This crumbled is something that's very literal. Okay. So over here, it cannot be the answer because we're talking about a project that fell through. We're talking about plans, that's something that fell through. Okay. Now we also have the word collapsed. Okay, so something that is sudden. Okay, this is one of the best answers because we have the word unexpectedly over here. So we're taking away from that. Okay, so I'm gonna circle this one first. But let's look at number 3 and number 4. Fell through by itself, which means plans fail. Okay, but this doesn't have the element of unexpected. Okay, we have to note that down. So it's not as good of an answer as number 2. Okay, paused after the partner firm pulled out unexpectedly. Okay, so usually we're talking about something that is more dramatic. Okay, so it is less likely that the overseas project paused. We're more likely to be talking about something that collapsed. Okay, let's go with 2. Okay, whoever got 2 is correct. All right, let's go to question 9. All right. Mr. Don's vision is very poor, but the optician has informed him that it can be blank if he wears glasses with prescription lenses. Okay, number 2. Okay. Okay, let's go. Number 2. Okay. No, 1. Okay. Okay, good job, good job. Okay, let's go. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay. Okay, so we're talking that his vision is very poor. It can be, but. Okay, so poor, but, so we're thinking that something can be good. And this is conditional if. Okay, So over here we have number 1, restricted. When you're saying restricted, that means limited. But this is the opposite of improving. Okay, so unfortunately is most likely not the answer, because you're saying that his vision is very poor. But if you were to say that it can be limited, if he wears glasses, you would not have the but. Okay, but it suggests that something is happening in an opposite direction, which is, in this case, it's poor, so it's something that is going to have some form of improvement. Tree. Okay, I'm going to circle tree. Okay, now we have improved. Improved essentially means to be made better. Okay, so over here it does sound like one of the best answers that could be here. Okay, let's look at number 3, which is Hong Kong's answer. Cushion means soften. Okay, now the thing about cushion is that you usually use this. I'm gonna give you guys an example. My fall was cushioned by the soft mattress. Okay, so essentially your fall was softened. That means somebody caught your fall, someone broke your fall. Okay, yeah, so cushion will definitely mean soften, and it's usually not for eyesight. So this will not be the answer, unfortunately, because it can be softened. Okay, your vision cannot be softened. If you were to take it on a literal level, your vision cannot be cushioned. Okay, so it won't be the answer. Okay, hi Lydia. Okay, so we have the word maintained. Okay, we have the word maintained over here, means kept the same. Okay, now also we want to take that context from this question, prescription lenses. So we know from common sense that lenses actually make your eyesight better. So we're definitely looking for improvement rather than just a certain for it to be maintained. So I'm going to cross out maintain, and I'm going to put the answer as, put the answer as 2. Okay, who chose 2? Did anyone choose 2? No? Nathan, you actually corrected first. You actually corrected first. All right. Okay, let's go on to the 10th question. Okay, let's see. Let's see what other questions we have after this. Let me see. Nathan, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, it's completely okay. Oh, we have a lot more vocab questions. We have a lot more vocab questions, which is great. Okay, we have a lot more vocab questions. Okay, let's see. Would you guys want to continue what do you call that, vocab, or would you guys want to try compre close after this? Okay, well, let's finish question 10 first, then you guys can let me know. Okay, we'll take a 2 to 3 minute break, and then we'll start the next section. Okay, up to you guys. Do you guys want to do compre close, or do you guys want to do vocab? Let's see what other options we have. Compre close. Okay, let's see. Do we have? Let's see what else we have. We have compre close. Okay, so let me see what options I can give you guys. Oh, we have S&T as well. We have S&T as well. For those who are interested, we have S&T as well. Okay, so you guys can choose. You guys can choose, okay? Okay, let's do question 10 first. Okay, question 10 is over here. Okay, with proper surgery, her vision can be blank over time. Okay, S&T is synthesis and transformation. Synthesis and transformation. Rewording, essentially. Not really rewording, adjusting the form of the sentence, right? Okay. Yep. Thank you, Gracie Beauty SG. All right. I love that, really? Okay, question 10 is 2. Okay, let's circle that. Okay. With proper surgery, her vision can be fully blank over time. Okay, so with proper surgery, so it's more of a conditional thing. Her vision can be fully. So when we're talking about fully, we are, and from a bit of common sense that we talk about vision, usually surgery is used to make your eyes better. All right. So we're looking for a word that refers to the idea of being better. All right. Now let's start with the first one. Okay. One. Okay, Hong Kong says it's one. Okay, now let's start. Restored, which means brought back to normal or good condition. Okay, so essentially the condition becomes the same. Bye bye, Gerald. Oh, where are you going? Where are you going? All right, reduced. Okay, reduce is something that is negative. Okay, essentially something has been worsened. Preserved. Okay, preserved essentially means to keep the same, is not get better. Okay, and sharpened, which means it is more when you're saying sharpen, you're usually meaning that your eyes it's not really usually for eyes. You can say that, but it's very informal way of saying it. You usually in formal settings you won't say my eyesight has been sharpened. Okay, you don't say that. Okay, when you're to say sharpen in a formal setting, you usually mean for a sound or images. Okay, I sharpen the image, I sharpen the sound. I have tuition, so I gotta finish right now. Ooh, okay, go. All right, I will see you next time, Nathan. It's all right. All right, her vision can be fully blank over time. Okay, so with all these options, and when you're saying sharpen, again, it's not the best, keep the same. Okay, when we're saying fully, we're essentially thinking of something that can be fully healed, fully become better. So we're not talking about something that keep the same. Definitely not something that becomes negative or even worsened. We want an improvement. So we will be choosing number one. Whoever chose number one is correct. Okay, who chose number one? Oh, wait, let me see. Hong Kong chose number one. Great job. Great job, Hong Kong. Okay, we'll be taking a 5-minute break, and then I will come back to do synthesis and we'll choose it then. Okay, you guys can think between close, synthesis, and transformation, and more vocab questions. Okay, it's up to you guys. 5-minute break. Okay, we will be back. Okay. Oh, you don't have to end. You don't have to end. Oh, okay.